Hello, this is FlippedHarber for Precalculus. In this video we're going to cover section 7.3, the law of cosines. Our objectives for this lesson are to solve side-angle-side triangles, side-side-side triangles, and to look at some story problems. Our outline will talk about solving triangles, we'll talk about the 4 cases of triangles and the 5th case that we did not cover in the last section. We'll take a look at the law of cosines, and then we'll look at solving a side-angle-side triangle and a side-side-side triangle. So again, when we're talking about solving triangles, we're still talking about finding any missing side lengths and any missing angle measures. Everything that we talked about in the previous section is still useful, is still viable. You know, A, B, and C are still opposite alpha, beta, and gamma, just like before. Our 4 cases, again, just like the 4 cases from yesterday, we've got side angle angle, we've got side angle side, angle side angle, and side side angle. The 5th case that we were not able to do anything with yesterday was the side side side. We couldn't use the law of sines with this case because there was no known angle. Now we're going to be able to do this with the law of cosines, and we're going to cover that in this video. So here is the law of cosines. It's got 3 forms, basically kind of solved. It's not actually solved for A, B, and C, but we've got 3 forms based on what you're looking for. If you're looking for A, B, or C. Now if you look at this, this looks a lot like the Pythagorean theorem. You just have this extra stuff at the back. So I'm going to give you a second to write all this down. If you need to, pause the video, and then we'll get going. Alright, so solving a side-angle-side triangle. So they didn't bother to give us a picture in this one. They just say solve the triangle A equals 3, B equals 5, gamma equals 60. So this is something that the law of sines can't solve for us because we don't have a pair. We don't have A and alpha, or B and beta, or C and gamma. So this is one that the law of sines can't even start to touch. But with the law of cosines we can. We can solve for C as our first step. So we plug everything into the proper version of the law of sines in order to solve for C. And we get C equals 4.39. Now, let's stop and talk about something real quick. Remember, our shortest side should be opposite our smallest angle. So since A is our shortest side, it should be opposite our smallest angle. It should be something less than 60. B is our longest side. Not much longer, but it's longer than C. So angle beta should be bigger than 60. Okay, just something for you to keep in mind as you're working on these problems. Alright, so where are we going to go after this one? We've got C, but we still need to find our 2 angles, alpha and beta. So we can actually use the law of cosines again to find alpha. The problem is it's locked all the way over here, so I'm going to have to do some algebra in order to solve for this alpha. We know what A is, we can plug it in. We know what B is, we can plug it in. We found out what C is, so we get to plug that in. So the only thing left to find in this equation now would be alpha. So I've gone ahead and I've done all the algebra all at once for you. You move the 2bc cosine alpha over to one side, move the a squared over to the other side, divide by the 2bc, and then when you're all done you have to take the cosine inverse of this. If you want me to go through the algebra with you, just ask in class. Plug everything in, I get alpha equals 36.54. Okay, well that's great, and that means that beta is going to be very, very easy now. I'll just take 180 degrees minus gamma minus alpha, and I get 83.46. Okay, so let's solve this triangle where they give us all 3 sides but none of the angles. Well, we just basically pick an angle to solve for. Let's go ahead and use what I've already done for alpha. And let's solve for the angle alpha. So we're going to plug 7 in for B, we're going to plug 3 in for C, and we're going to plug 6 in for A. Now, you can't really mix these two up and hurt anything. You have to make sure that this one is the 6 though. Okay? You have to make sure that this one gets plugged in right. The other two, honestly, you can flip-flop. It doesn't matter. We get alpha equals 58.41 degrees. Now that we've got a pair, an angle and the opposite side, we can actually switch to the law of sines if we want, or we can just run the law of cosines again to find one of the other angles. I really don't care which way you do it. You can switch to the law of sines and use that, but hey, I've already got it plugged in. I can actually just go in and replace numbers in my calculator, and boom, I got my answer. So my beta is 96.37 degrees. Gamma, obviously going to be the easy one. I just take 180 minus alpha minus beta, and I've got my gamma. Okay, so that's it. There's the law of cosines for you. Time to try some of these on your own. I'll see you in class, and I'll see you online.